So that weekend could have gone a lot worse than it did. Jeez. So, what a week. We lose to Burnley, lose to Chelsea, and then we're facing the Woolwich interlopers at Wembley. We all hate Wembley anyway. So it was built for one of those, is it gonna be a Spursy moment? So very, very disappointing in the end. Only coming away with a draw after the week that we've had. I was hopeful of a smashing of the Woolwich interlopers, but that didn't happen. But it could have been a lot worse. They had one chance on goal. They scored it from our own defensive fuck up, shall I say. So that was really, really disappointing to see. But I was fortunate enough to be behind the goal when Harry Kane got the penalty. So it was a definite pen. I have got it on video, and I have got the penalty on video. So unlike me, I don't normally video during the game. But yeah, so good to see that we actually got ourselves back into it. Could have been a whole lot worse. So it shut them right up. And I have to say, my Facebook timeline has been rather quiet. I haven't had any comments from any gooners at all, which has been quite pleasant. Nice and quiet, just how I like it. Bit concerned about Mr. Ericsson, who seemed to have another very quiet game. Just get the feeling that he's a bit worried about getting his foot in these games where it's a bit rough and tumble. So that's a bit of a worry that he's not able to do that. Listen, I don't slag players off, and when he's on his game, he makes us tick, and he pulls it out of the bag. And some days he can be unplayable, but in games like this, maybe it's not for him, and maybe this kind of game ain't for him. It's been said before, you know, in big games he does kind of go missing. I guess to a certain extent there is a little bit of that around Ozil for the other mob, that you kind of get a bit of a comparison there, that he tends to go missing in the games where it gets a bit physical. Maybe that's the case, maybe he's just one of those players. But by no means am I moaning about him. He's a great player, and I'd be sad to see him go. I just think there are some games maybe that are not meant for him, and Pochettino does need another option to replace him if he needs to. So I don't think anyone's expendable. No one's bigger than the team, right? So as I say, nice to eventually get a draw out of it, especially with them having a very, very soft penalty at the end. And Anthony Taylor, no relation by the way, what are you doing? You're a professional referee, mate. It just beggars belief some days. If you can't see that foul on Harry Kane from Xhaka, then what the and if that doesn't get picked up again, what? Why? I know people screaming out for Kane to be in trouble over his little headbutt against the Chavs the other day. Well, if that's the case, mate, someone needs to have a word, because that was a horror show for me. Danny Rose, I felt, had a really good game. One of the only players really to show that passion and about how much this game means to us as fans. I think he wanted to shut them up and stop them from having some changing room selfies, and I love that about Danny Rose, by the way. Not saying that he's at his peak, I'm not saying that he's the best player in the world, not even saying he's the best left back in the Prem, but I have to say, when it comes to passion, when it comes to getting involved, the boy will, and you can't knock him for the challenge on Leno. And I was right behind that, so I had a really good view of it. Was it a foul? Maybe. Did he go for the ball? Yeah, definitely. Was the ball there to be had? Yep. Did he want to make contact with Leno and hurt the fucker? Excuse my French. Oh yes. He got him right in the chest. And as a Tottenham fan, I have to say, big fan of that. No problem at all. Would have liked him to do it to Lloris though, to be fair. But, you know, I've got no big problem with it. For me, that would have been enough to give him man of the match. But clearly not. Musa Sissoko had the best game again for a while. He really turned it on. His marauding run and his shot, actually, by the way, got to give a shout out to his shot, which Leno saved. But hey, if that had been just a little bit further away, what a story. Musa Sissoko, the forgotten man, the player that everyone loved to hate, actually manages to get a goal in the North London derby. Oh, mate, I'd have loved that. It would have been fantastic. Poor old Kieran Trippier, who for most part, certainly in the first half, I thought had a really good game. Thought he was doing really well. After actually scoring the own goal against Chelsea, it was really good to see that he was up for it and he wasn't hiding. But I have to say, as soon as he put that cross in that went shooting straight across the pitch, you could see the disappointment and the hurt in his face. That he literally, you could see he was saying to himself, "What do I have to do to get back on track here? Because it just ain't happening for me." So I feel for him. I hate to see any player getting ripped, especially live at the ground, because obviously, you know, there is an element of that they can hear you. So, you know, that must be hard. No one likes to be criticised, especially by 80,000 people who, for the main, couldn't kick a ball anyway. You know, and we're all managers, right? We all know what's the best formation, and we all know what's the best thing to do. So, you know, I felt for him a little bit, and I did feel that he went a little bit hiding there. I mean, he still kept pumping the balls in and that, but without success. So it was a bit of a disappointing game overall. But being able to shut the Gooners up and come away with a draw was a lot better than going home with a loss. I have to give a shout out to the men selling the half and half scarves. Man, what is wrong with you people? Why are you buying a Tottenham Arsenal scarf? What is that about? I don't get it. You know, yeah, if you're going away to your first ever European game, or you're playing the team that you live closest to, or something like that, but why would you buy a scarf with Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, Liverpool, Man United? Why would you buy that? What is that about? There's plenty of other scarves out there, you know, Tottenham ones that can commemorate the game. So I don't get that. So for those guys selling those half and half scarves, have a word with yourself, give your head a wobble. Come on, I know everyone's got to make a living, but fuck me, that ain't great. Anyway, we move on now to Dortmund on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I can't go, boo-hoo. But I know a few people that are going, so safe journey to all of those kids going out there. Have a great time, and hopefully we'll do enough to go through, because, hey, let's face it, if you're going out to Dortmund in the last 16 of the Champions League with a 3-0 lead, and you're not worried about losing 4-0, are you really Spurs? Have a word. I'll leave you there. Up the Spurs.